experience, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head, get you out of my head. I am in misery. Come on, give it all you got. You're trying to save me, but you're making it all worse. Every time you hear these words, I'll be down the road, cause I know the odds are better on my side. I don't want you to try to be wise. I'm calling you cry. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart beats a beat down, I press the lens just to tell you, don't lead the way, don't even say that I try with a just in the way. I feel like I'm fading.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to OLE Podcast. Obviously, for those of you that are here all the time, we discuss wrestling quite often, but every now and then we bring a little something different to the table. And yeah, with the round table, I should have thought about it. But we're talking here about the Traitors Season 3 since it's just ended on Thursday. And with me, I have a couple of friends. So first, I have the Ogre Lord, Bobby. How are you, Bobby?
I'm wonderful. I'm happy to be here on a Saturday with all you amazing people.
Yes. And you saw her not too long ago. Auntie, how are you doing, Auntie?
Moi, I'm doing fantastic. Scared, but excited.
And
We're talking
her
about
co-host,
murder.
yeah.
I'm not the traitor. Don't murder me.
Maybe there is a traitor among us. No, I'm kidding. There's not. I can't
is
do
there?
that. Mhm. And there, how are you, Jose?
I mean, so my vote is for the person that accidentally played the taking over intro before we started. Astrid, my vote is for you.
It's the only information we got to go by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
And obviously, returning guests, who's we have her every now and then. Ella, how are you doing, Ella?
I am fantastic to be here. How are you guys?
Oh gosh, here we go with the Boston Rob. Yeah, all of us. It can't be all of us. Well,
There was 5 traders on the.
Yeah, I was about to
Was?
say we had 5 at one point. But...
True.
Not
Honestly,
Danielle.
honestly, like low key, we need to have like our own mini game here sometime. I don't know how we would do
Ooh.
I like
it,
it.
but we would have to do it.
We're gonna have Bobby pick the traders.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna have to get him like some fascinators like Alan Cummings too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
I can never match that man's style.
No, he's so
Not
iconic.
with
I
that
love him as a
attitude.
host.
Yeah.
I do love him as a host. I feel like there's nobody that could do it like him. He brings such a like a good mysterious intrigue with his quiz and everything when it comes
Yeah.
before the challenges. Chef's kiss. I adore it. I figured I have a couple of questions to start us off with. But obviously, as things happen with the comments, you never know what else will come up. It is an OLE podcast show, so it's chaos is about to happen somehow. But I figured I'll start going around the round table, as we're gonna call it today. With the question is, who was your favorite trader? So Bobby, who was your favorite one out of all the traders?
Of the actual traders, I mean, am I gonna be the one that gets hated for saying it? I am.
Yes, you
overly
are.
athletic. I like Boston Rob. I think you need a.
Boo!
I'm
Where's the
sorry.
vote out for Bobby?
I'm sorry. I think you need a total villain in order to make the faithful that much better and have something to work towards. Boston Rob is that evil jerk. Everything he does, he is evil. But that evil plays out for good television, and it did play out for some good television at times.
I hate that I had to agree. How about you, Auntie?
All right. Let the record show Boston Rob from yesteryear and Boston Rob now can get it. However, you don't need a Boston Rob. And we're not saying the best trader as in the best television, are we? Who was the mastermind?
Oh.
I feel like Danielle played a great game.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. Absolutely psychotic, diabolical, delusional. That's all the qualities that you need in a great trader.
How she got by in Big Brother.
Oh, I don't know. How about you, Jose?
So if we're talking about the personality of the traders that I enjoyed the most, obviously Bob the drag queen. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
just the energy that Bob brought to every round table. And I mean, we talk about the foil being Boston Rob and just like trying to be abrasive and like dictate the game. I mean, sometimes a loud personality, especially as a trader, just doesn't enhance their gameplay at all. I would say from a gameplay standpoint, my favorite trader of the game they played was honestly Carolyn. And honestly, if not until when they had that chess mission that kind of exposed her for like putting herself in certain scenarios because she was so focused on the money and not the optics, she probably would have gone all the way by herself.
I absolutely agree with Jose. I think Carolyn was the only one, up until that final challenge right before her banishment that like nobody suspected her. There was so much suspicion on Danielle right after Boston Rob left. And even before that, Carolyn, nobody was really throwing out her name until that final challenge right before when she, like Jose said, was focusing more on the money instead of like the long game. I think Carolyn could have gone the entire way and won the entire thing had she kept her focus and kept her emotions in check until that final 8. She could have totally made it to the end. I'm curious, like how you guys think, because at the end when they tried to convert, when it was Carolyn and Danielle debating, like what if they had converted Brittany or Gabby like at that stage? Like if they converted Gabby, I think Carolyn and Gabby could have ran with it until the end, honestly. But instead they just decided to kill, who was it, Sam? It's kind of like meh. So there might have been a different outcome had they converted somebody at that point. But I have to agree with Jose. Carolyn was my favorite trader of the season.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because I feel like if the only person that was throwing Caroline's name in the hat was Danielle being a trader person. So if it wasn't because Danielle knew about it and being she was the only person that ever mentioned Caroline's name, I don't think anybody would have thought about Caroline because of the way she was always being herself. And it didn't seem like she was making, like, I don't want to say an effort, but she wasn't like everybody else in that aspect of it. And I feel like if you would have taken the Danielle factor out of it, the only challenge that kind of threw her off would have been that. So if Daniel hadn't really started mentioning her name, it wouldn't have gone to that to begin with. So I don't think it would have gone to that part of it with the answers at the end. So I feel like definitely Caroline, it could have been a little bit different, but I think she was my favorite one to begin with. But going off of that though, I was thinking, if you could have one of the faithfuls be switched to be a traitor, who would it be and why? Mine, and this is me being a personal bias, mine would have been Wes. Because I feel like Wes would have been obvious at the same time, and I would have wanted him. I wanted to see how he would play as a traitor at the end, and I'm a little upset that he wasn't. I knew that Boston Rob. It was similar to Boston Rob in the sense of it with his acting, so I would have liked to see it. So I was like, I wonder if maybe sometime in the future we'll get like an All Stars kind of season, and maybe he'll get a chance of doing something like that. Because I'll be super interested in seeing his point of view on it. What about you, Ella?
I was just saying Carolyn was my favorite traitor, but like of all the Survivor people, like Carolyn was the least gamer in that four. Like you have Boston Rob, obviously he's a huge gamer. Tony Vachos is a 2-time Survivor winner. Jeremy has also won Survivor and gone pretty far. So I was still surprised that she was the Survivor, like the original, besides Boston Rob to begin with. I would have loved to see Jeremy Collins as a traitor. I think it would have been so fun because he could have gotten I don't know, you guys probably don't know the lore, but like Tony got Jeremy voted out in Survivor Winners at War. So I feel like this was a perfect chance for them to kind of run back just like they did with Dan. There was a lot of Danielle and Brittany lore built in there. We didn't get that with Jeremy and Tony. I think putting Jeremy as a traitor, you could have built, there's a story there between them, and him getting revenge on Tony would have been so fun. But they decided to give the role to Carolyn, which I'm not mad at her performance. I'm just surprised that like it was not Tony or Jeremy. I would have loved to see Jeremy. I love him.
Yeah. What about you, Jose?
I feel like the problem that we ran into with this group of traders is that they really tried to prioritize gamers as the component of the traders. I feel like you still keep Bob the Drag Queen as a trader because of the X Factor, especially because of the fact of how things played out with Peppermint in season 2. Take the chance of Bob being faithful. What I would have done for the sake of drama is I would have had both Chriselle and Tom Sandoval join Bob as traders. And then if they were going to have a fourth, maybe Nikki Garcia, just so we don't have a gamer's perspective. And you also have the animosity because Chriselle fucking can't stand Tom Sandoval. And Tom Sandoval being Tom Sandoval, is he going to, like, basically rat out his own game because of the fact that he's just himself?
An idiot?
Well, yes.
Yes, I was gonna say that's the best way I can describe him too. What about you, Auntie?
So I like the Jeremy and Tony lore because Ella, I have seen the deep cuts over on TikTok of all of that. So because I'm not that deep into the Survivor lore, that would have really been an easy shoe-in for you. But I don't think we should discount Sierra. I think Sierra played a great game. I think her unfortunately being in the coffin during that entire thing was the nail in her coffin, so to speak, because Sam could not get it out of his head that there could have been a traitor.
It was a fair theory, honestly.
I know, but I wish that she would have advocated further for herself and more so aligned with people that didn't end up being traitors. But her relationship with Boston Rob, I feel like could have had Sierra in the finals.
Yeah, Bobby?
I think going into the beginning of the season, I would have been interested to see how Derek would have handled things, because Derek is got a good eye for everything and stuff like that, and he has a very good way of getting people on his side. I think it could play well into his hand. Knowing what I know about everybody's personality by the end of this, especially people I wasn't as familiar with, I'd be curious to see Dylan on that side of things, because by the end you could really tell that Dylan was good at sussing out people's reasonings for why they would be a traitor and stuff like that. And I think with that keen sense of gameplay, I think Dylan could have made a very interesting traitor and maybe flip things a little bit differently.
Yeah, misguided wasn't so misguided. Is that what you're telling me?
True.
The other thing I was thinking was, and I feel like it's going to be hard to even think about for me at least, but of all the moments that we had in this season, what is one that really pops into everybody's mind? Because for me is how this season compared to the rest so far is the traitor on traitor arguments that we got at the round table, and I feel like that really cost a lot of them their positions at that moment, the round tables, and voting each other off the way they did. And it's so hard to forget those moments, especially with like Danielle and Caroline towards the end, like even Danielle shaking when she voted off Caroline. And I feel like those are the ones that I won't be able to like forget about anytime soon, at least. And it's like I just keep thinking about like, how did you guys like really like become traitors to each other to begin with? So, Jose, did you have a favorite moment this season?
So I think my favorite moment, it's not really just one moment. It's the fact that we've had so many iconic exit speeches at the round table. We've had Bob's iconic exit speech. We had Wes's. We had Sierra's. Those kind of moments where people are just finally letting everything out and just letting you have it. They don't have to be liked about anything. They're just getting ready to go, and that's it. That's been phenomenal. But to your point, Astrid, it's kind of crazy because looking back at exactly how the season played out, every single traitor that got banished was a result of something that another traitor said about them, whether it was at that round table or a round table prior. Because we ultimately saw that happen to Brittany at the end, and the crazier part of them not getting to have the initial satisfaction that they indeed banished the traitors. So it really made that pit talk, if they were going to go red or green, that much more chaotic. It wasn't looking like Dolores was going to just immediately want to end the game at first. Which, by the way, can we talk about the fact that Dolores played the worst faithful game of anybody this season?
Agreed. I like how Andy brought it up to her face, though, the reunion. It's like, you voted wrong, 8 out of 10. Like, I didn't realize it was that many.
I mean, normally in a one-on-one match, you have a 50-50 chance of winning, you know.
I just didn't realize how many times she was wrong until he pointed it out, and she was like, well, I won, though. Which is, I think, a fair point at the end, too. What about you, Auntie? A favorite moment from this season?
I absolutely love anything that's drama. So any exits, any roundtable discussion, any effing and jeffing. I mean, Bob the Drag Queen's exit was absolutely my
I swear
favorite.
to God. I don't believe in God.
I don't believe in God.
Why? Yeah.
But I think everyone getting Boston Rob out was like it was, you know, the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series for the first time in 80 whatever years. Like, well, that's kind of how
the
it
Yankees
felt
winning
like.
If it got rid of Boston Rob, but you know.
But the amount of excitement, because watching last season when Dan got banished, it was that same vibe, but with pyro, so to speak. So I love anything that happened at the round table. I think was drama and, you know, fantastic. There, if you only watch the round table, you should watch the round table. Tom Sandoval and Dolores.
No, you're gonna. Oh wait, never mind.
No, Tom Sandoval and Dolores constantly like
voting for each other,
disregarding everything else. Just always voting
Rochelle
for
was in
each
that
other.
too. I voted for you, Tom.
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't like you.
Is it about the Tom Sandoval and the females comment?
Shh, don't take mine. Don't take mine.
Okay. But like, you know what I mean? Those kinds of discussions at the round table. I also liked the challenges this season a little bit better than seasons before. I'm not a bug creepy.
Yeah,
kind of
nope. I would have been out.
Either.
I would have been out. Nope.
But the one where they were married to each other and they had to hold their hand, and I'm going, could I mentally do that to myself?
Yes.
I know I couldn't.
Some of those.
I
things,
wanted
like,
to sign up and try it.
That's why you and I are very different, Bobby. But I would be up for the banishment. I that would be me, because there is no way that I can do those kind of. Give me a physical activity. I will punch my way through it. I'll try to do the doll singing challenge, but you do something creepy crawly. But that's where I really started to love Boston Rob, because he was just talking Sierra through it.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, that's exactly what someone who like would want to work with someone, would want to win. So I don't know. That was my favorite of all the games. So that was great.
How about you, Bobby?
Favorite moment as a Big Brother fan was watching Brittany screw up again and send Danielle out the door. It was so epic. The look on her face. And you just knew right away when she looked over at Dolores, and Dolores made the odd look to almost signal like she was voting Danielle out. And so as soon as she realized that she had picked Ivar, and all of a sudden Brittany looks over, I was like, oh, you did it. Oh, this is going to be epic. And it was delightful to watch.
No, and I think, was it at the reunion that she said that it wasn't a signal, but it looked so clearly like a signal? That was so weird. It was so odd, because she was like, oh yeah, when you looked at me and then you looked at Danielle, when you kind of went like that, she's like, that wasn't a signal. I'm like, what do you mean it wasn't? That clearly was. She's just like, Julie, her. What? I don't get it. But I definitely had to mention, before I forget, Tom singing. Oh my God. I think the fact that Sam is on the line and he goes, terrible singer. When you share a household with Britney Spears, you can say that. Like, I let you say that.
Yeah, the only time they ever talk about Britney Spears this whole time was during the reunion, and one question, because that's probably all they were able to do legally.
What about you, Elle? I know you're itching to tell me which one.
Women are better cheaters than guys.
Everybody erupting.
They went for that man's throat.
Oh.
I just wish I had tomatoes in that moment. Just like, here, everybody. I do love his facial expression, because he said it and then he had a serious face, and then he smiled when he realized when he said the wrong thing, and he's like, oh, I can't go back from this one. You see his face change in like seconds, and it's so amazing to watch.
Funny.
But his singing is just something else.
But kind of like going off of that, Astrid, does anybody have like a good memory of watching the episodes this season? Like something funny, or like something like a viewing experience that obviously isn't part of the episode, but it made like the episode that much better for you?
Wait, I gotta pull up the receipts. Go on though.
No, I gotta wait. Hold on.
Because
I gotta
one.
go to Twitch for mine, because it's hysterical.
Okay, but I have to tell y'all, I could not watch Trainers until after I was done doing Honor Ramble. And I'm over here. I have 3 screens, okay? So I have this one screen here. I have Twitter on my small screen over here. And then I have everything else, my show notes, all the things over here. I kept glancing this entire season as Twitter/X would upload, and I go, damn it, somebody spoiled Traitors for me. I'm not like the chat was just like going, and then the feed would go up. I'm like, I'm trying to talk about honor, like Ring of Honor here. So that was my experience.
It's called Ring of Traitors. That's what you can buy.
There is no honor there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a receipt. I got a receipt
did
for
you
mine.
find?
So the one week, episode 4, me and Astrid were watching ahead of time. Jose couldn't watch till like an hour later. And then so Jose's giving us his live commentary as we're watching in our group chat, right? And this is where Jeremy Collins gets like murdered at the beginning. And Jose knows I love Jeremy. Meanwhile, I already know the results of the episode, right? So he goes, sorry, Ella, I know you love Jeremy. And I'm like, bitch. And then I have the zip closed because I know what happens at the end of the episode. So I text Astrid. I'm like, I am so waiting to get to the end of this episode to clap back right at Jose, because Bob the Drag Queen gets banished at the end of the episode.
I was hot.
And so once Jose finally finishes, I go, sorry, Jose, I know you love Bob the Drag Queen. As a clap back. I was waiting for that.
But that's not even the best thing. So there was one week, it was after, I think, the live episode of TNA Impact or whatever. I didn't saying, screw it, I'm going to react to Traitors on stream.
Yeah.
So my sister Bianca, who's been on the Mother Tuck and Post Show. The whole plan was she was going to watch it with me, but for whatever reason, she didn't come when it was time. So I literally finished the whole episode, and I'm going to share my screen because You guys just have to see this. Okay, if it'll let me. There we go. Let's toss it to the end of this fabulous Twitch stream from a month ago.
No, wait, I don't hear it. Can everybody hear it?
No audio.
It's muted
Oh,
for
wait,
me.
can you not hear it? Hold on.
No.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're gonna try this in settings.
I think one of my favorite parts, though, I think it was the last challenge when they're doing before they get to the helicopter part, when Gabby says,
Oh yeah.
"For Brittany knows her periodic table," I guess.
Gabby's like,
Oh yeah,
wait.
that was good.
Gabby's like, wait, I think that was wrong.
Yes, and then when Dolores is getting hooked on the
Okay.
helicopter, and she goes, "If I was supposed to be flying, I would have wings." I'm like, the people with the quotes on this one, though, they're killing me.
Yeah, there were good sound bites. Okay, I think I have the audio fixed, so let's see. Good Lord. Well, damn.
Okay.
I have a feeling it doesn't when you
Bitch, I
just do a
finished it.
share screen from another like Twitch or YouTube. It doesn't do audio.
Bianca, I'm gonna watch with your mom's.
Oh, now it
after,
is.
too.
You said we were gonna watch it together.
Bink, I said I was gonna do it live right now, at 10. I told you when I was gonna do it.
Dude, I thought you were gonna call me when your other thing was done.
Bianca, I told you at 10. I thought you were gonna come. I'm sorry.
You didn't text me to say we were starting.
Bianca, I will rewatch it with you right now.
No, I'm gonna watch it on my own. If we were gonna
She basically said, "Fuck you."
Bianca, when you came, it had like 10 minutes left. I said, we'll start at 10.
Lee, I was waiting for an hour for you to tell me to come here.
Well, I didn't realize that. My mom set it up like that. I'm sorry.
And on that
sorry.
note,
The chicken was not lovely at all tonight. I'm going with that. The fact that I have that on the internet made it that much better. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I just
That was a
love
good one.
y'all's sibling dynamic because
It's very Bob and Monet, except actual
Oh
blood.
my god. That was iconic. Oh my gosh. Okay. The other one that I can think about after seeing this cast, and I want to start with Auntie. Is there anybody that you can think of? I could be based on who we had in so far. It could be Survivor, Big Brother, Challenge, whatever. Who would you like to see next season?
Okay, I have a whole notes app dedicated to this. Give me
Come
2
on, give it.
seconds.
The way that
Give
I'm
me
pulling up
2
mine too, because I've
seconds.
been talking about this at the shoot job too. I literally have like 7 or
I would like to see another wrestler though, because I feel like we had Nikki for a bit, but I wanted her to be there longer, and I was hoping she'll be there for longer. So that would definitely love to see somebody else.
yeah, I have
Okay.
a whole list, but let Auntie go first so she can get her stuff.
Listen, if you want to go first, I have mine. I have to log into my,
Oh, okay, I
my
got mine.
Google account. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Go.
the best part about my job is the fact that I have like 3 different chats going with people talking about the Traitors. So when somebody said who I wanted for season 4, I said Brie Garcia. So obviously you have to have the other Bella twin, but
Yeah.
honestly, Brie was better with confrontation on Total Divas than Nikki ever was. I mean, think about Brie versus Summer Rae.
yeah.
Hello.
Sure.
I want Carson from Survivor with the added foil of his falling out with Carolyn. So that's going to make it a lot more interesting. I want 2 queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. I want Candy Muse, also from House of Villains, and Mistress Isabel Brooks. Even if they don't like both become traitors, like I would love to see Mistress actually have to play as a faithful, because it's so not in her nature to do that. I want Nene Leakes from The Real Housewives of Atlanta,
Ooh.
because the icon that she is. I also said if they managed to get New York to do it, like Tiffany Pollard, that would be phenomenal. And the last one, if they wanted to make it extra messy, was Nancy Grace. I would love to see, especially with everything going on with like her back on Casey Anthony's ass, like it's great. And then someone was saying like we need someone from Love Is Blind, and then we said Andrew Liu, who's the guy that had the eye drops in the confessional for that one season of Love Is Blind.
Oh my God,
Pretending to
yes.
cry.
Yes. Oh my god.
But yeah, that's my short list so far.
Ready? Ready?
Go
Okay.
for it.
What you got?
New York. I need New York because I feel like she will bring demons out of people.
What if
And
we get New York and Pumpkin?
New York and Pumpkin, Spitteroni. I
Oh
think
my
that
God.
she's not doing well though. What I've seen Miss Pumpkin look like.
True.
I want more Bravo people because I think that it helps them come out of their element, but not necessarily just housewives. So
Tim Gunn.
That would be a surprise. Maybe someone from Below Deck.
oh my gosh. Those Below Deckers are wild. Though Captain Jason, he would have the B-roll footage of him taking his shirt off because that man is fine. But I would have Lala from Vanderpump Rules. I would have the Countess Luann because if you want someone to have their own sing song and dance, that's the Countess Luann. I want Lisa Barlow from Salt Lake City because here's the thing. She's delusional in her own right, but I think that she would be either very good at figuring out who's the traitor or she would have no clue. And that's exactly what a traitor wants, is someone to be like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for the vibes. I'm here for the outfits and all the things. I've seen people talk about this online, which I thought would be interesting. Getting some America's Next Top Model.
I saw that today too. I saw a thing about Jade.
Jade, yes, because she was
Lisa too as well from All Stars in season 5. Lisa would be amazing.
Absolutely, because those are the ones that actually went toe to toe with Tyra, and I think more confrontation is needed in these games. I mean, the easy Drag Race ones, Candy Muse, Tammy Brown, Monet Exchange.
Tammy Brown would be certifiably insane. Regardless if Tammy Brown is a traitor or a faithful, good luck understanding anything she fucking says. Or
it would be perfect.
On anything.
Would be perfect. And then for shits and giggles, Trisha Paytas.
She did terrible in Big Brother. She quit Big Brother. Like, I think she would quit the Traitors as well.
You know what? I forgot this person on my list. I'm glad you said Trisha Paytas because it's another YouTuber. Someone that's been on Mr. Beast's neck for 6 months now. I want Rosanna Pansino on the Traitors.
Oh, Miss Pansino. Yes. Oh, because she would come for you with receipts and staple it to your forehead.
And now she's not holding anything back these days. Fucking let him have it.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
But
Bobby, who you got? You've been a little quiet there.
I mean, I don't have as much depth of knowledge of the vast world of reality television as everybody else here might, but I would love to see them introduce some people from the circle. I think that we could have some fun with that for sure. And then if we're gonna go back to the Big Brother vault, either Jag or Taylor Hale, I think would be interesting additions as well too.
I would have said Vanessa. Oh my god,
Vanessa!
that girl can cry.
Ooh, what about Jacinta?
These are all great options.
I love the ideas.
We're filling 2 seasons here is what we're doing.
All right, we're the producers now. So Peacock, check
right?
email, right?
Okay. The next one, I'm gonna put it together, and depending which one you would like to pick, it's up to you guys. But I was thinking, what are your favorite? Whether you call them like arguments or face-offs or betrayal, like what were your favorites to watch there? Because I think for me, definitely Caroline and Daniel, like that back and forth they had there was really one that was
the first or the second.
I feel like the second one was better than the first, but that's just me. But I like both, I honestly. But this face-off between the both of them, that like betrayal at the end, and I feel like even Brittany voting for Danielle, which is something that I kind of figured based on her facial expression beforehand, but even just watching it as after it happened and seeing her face too, like that just killed me inside. It really did. So I figured, Bobby, which one was your favorite there?
I think it's got to be Bob and Rob. It was a jaw-dropping moment to see that the traitors would turn on each other so fast. I think the thing is like, I wanted to see more of Bob in there, so I didn't necessarily like the fact that he was the victim of this entire incident to begin with, but it was epic in so many different ways because both of them have very big personalities and they were going to go at each other one way or another. Had Rob not done it that week, I wouldn't have been surprised if Bob would have had to go at Rob sooner or later himself too. And the way they went at each other, it was quite epic. Like jaws were dropping on that table, at that round table that night and everything. Nobody listened to anything else. It was just what these two had to say for the rest of the round table.
I feel like they created a domino effect for the traitors to begin there. Like
Yeah.
once they started going out of each other, they're like, "Oh, and we can do that," and then we started seeing it
Yeah.
often. It just
Well, here's the thing that I hate is traitor on traitor, you know, whatever. I think this was specifically manipulated in the regard of, you know, Boss and Rob wanting absolute power. But it pissed me off last season with Dan.
That was the downfall. Like, it's so good up until, like, this is what I keep saying about season 2. It's so good up until Dan's departure, because then it just becomes very clear that they know it's Parvati and they know it's Phaedra. Like, Phaedra could have slid to the end. And I love Dan. I've interviewed Dan. I love him. But he ruined the to me, like,
Yeah,
the rest of that
same.
game. It was just a domino effect. Like, it was so, like, predictable. And then, like, I think Phaedra could have pulled in somebody better than Kate, to be honest with you. Like, she was not the best option to convert. Spoiler alert, like, at the end as a last ditch effort. So to me, once Dan, like, went after Phaedra, it was just like a domino. It was just a matter of time. They all knew who the traitors were. They figured it out. And then it was just like an unsatisfying, like, ending. Phaedra could have gone all the way to the end. I get why Dan did it.
Right.
It was either go big or go home. He went home, and then Phaedra also went home later. So, so like after that point, it just like I'm like I can't. It's just like kind of ruined.
I would have loved had Phaedra not chosen Kate but chose Sandra, because Sandra like would have been such a great traitor.
They were
the
on
entire
Sandra's
time.
ass though. After,
Yeah,
because she was backing up Phaedra. That's the thing. Like if she was,
but use her as a shield. Come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, at that
True.
point, why wouldn't you? If we're talking the gamer point, why wouldn't you have done Trishelle
yeah.
Ugh,
or CT?
her homophobic, transphobic ass.
Yeah,
Oh no,
I know.
it's still fuck Trishelle. I'm just saying
Yeah.
from a gameplay standpoint, I could see
Yeah.
why.
Ugh. Yeah. So that's why I say season 1 is the best.
I also like the round table argument with Boss and Rob when Tony went home.
Oh,
Because
that was so heartbroken. Yeah.
because that pulled out my heartstrings, because it was just like he was so taken aback and he had nothing to rebut all of these accusations, and you just see the light click for a bunch of people of, oh yeah, that is kind of weird, oh yeah, that is kind of strange, do we just want to vote him out to see, because this was what, week 3, week 4. So but Tony was just so gutted because he's like, I trusted you, and this is
I just want to say, I mean, I know Jose will get this, but Tony either wins, he's won twice, he's also been voted out second. So there's literally no in between for Tony. He's either voted / banished out second, or he's the winner. Like, it's just like, that was kind of funny to me. But that was also the beginning of the string of back to back to back to back, like, heartbreaks, because then Jeremy was dead, then Bob, and then Nikki. I'm like, what the hell is happening? It was like the worst string of boots ever.
But not even just that. It's the simple fact that every round table up until his departure was like, you guys didn't want Boston Rob in the game to begin with. No one shook his hand. They brought him in on a twist. And now that he's in the game, now you're all like kissing his ass. No, why would you?
Mhm.
You had the opportunity to get rid of the biggest gamer in reality television history
Yep.
from the jump, and you're not doing it.
Mhm.
And then when Wes clocks you on it, you vote out Wes and what?
What?
Mhm.
Right. And then Wes
What Alan said.
no,
Like,
Yep.
after Wes's departure, these faithfuls were becoming irredeemable to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, they were just not playing.
I mean, they got Rob right after, but yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah,
they didn't get
that's
Rob right
true.
after, the season would have been dead on arrival, Ella.
Yeah.
okay.
Like,
T-
if they were going to try to get rid of Sierra before Rob, then the season
Mm.
would have been like, oh, the Traitors are going to win just because
Yeah.
these idiots don't know what the hell
Yeah.
they're doing.
Mhm.
I'm so glad Sierra got to let them all have it after the fact because they were so still focused on the whole, like, maybe there's a traitor in the coffin thing. The Traitors were not that smart to put a traitor in the coffin. And no traitor
Yeah.
would have agreed to go into the coffin. Be fucking for real.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
I, as a Vanderpump Rules fan, I loved Chriselle and Tom having this constant beef of like, I know your ex-girlfriend. I don't like you. And he's like, well, I don't like you. Then you're a traitor. And it's like, just
Yes.
because you're a cheater and you're a piece of shit in real life. Like, Chriselle is not going to do that. But Tom is just so accusatory that I'm like,
Mhm.
you are on another
Yeah.
planet. And his battle with his sweat glands. Good Lord, this man, every time he raised his arm,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you sweating out toxins? What's
No,
going on
literally
here,
every
bro?
time-
That's
You
a
look like a
real
sinner in
serious
church.
problem, and it's very embarrassing. So just saying.
But also,
Oh.
like, Auntie, I will
Yeah.
pose you this question. Out of Chriselle and Tom, which one is Peter Griffin and which one's the chicken?
The obvious chicken is Tom Sandoval, duh.
Fair. You know.
Obviously.
You know, just
I
sworn
like it.
enemies for life on site.
Yeah.
With that, I like how you kind of connected the next question that I had, because I was thinking, what moment from the Faithfuls really frustrated you that it never came up again in discussions? Because for me, it was the challenge in I think it was like a church at that point, that you can pick somebody's a picture to hang on and save them for the moment until the next turn.
Yep.
And then you see Danielle put somebody else's picture in there, and then I forgot if it was Derek or somebody
It was
mentioned.
Dolores.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you would do that if you're a traitor because you know you won't get killed. And nobody brought that up later in any way, shape, or form when they
Mhm.
argumented against her. I was like, how did they miss that? I was like, every time they argue with her, I was thinking that now somebody's gonna say it. Nothing. Nobody. Everybody forgot about that moment. How is that possible?
And it's always the alligator
I just-
tears, too. Or crocodile tears.
And the
Yeah.
crocodile, yeah.
Gabby
Crocodile.
catching Danielle coming out of that secret room on like episode
Only
3.
Yeah.
She only brought it up at the end. Like that was it.
Smart.
Like I don't
Smart.
I mean, I get why. Like she would have like, but like that's huge. Like coming out of this room that you guys didn't know about before. Like what could be going on there? Like I get why she didn't, because she didn't want to be murdered like right away. But like, girl, that's like huge news right there.
Which
Well,
is
I
also
feel like
why the Bambis
it should
were
have been
just
talked
like-
about more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bambis.
I just...
Oh.
Gabby got it together at the end, but there was no
Yeah.
hope for the Bambis for a while after Nikki's banishment.
I was so heartbroken by that. I was like, oh my god.
And the thing that made me so sad for Nikki is that while all of this is going on, like her young son is at home,
Mhm.
like none of the things that had happened with her now ex-husband
Yeah.
had happened yet.
Yeah.
But knowing that, like, you could see, like, wow, this is how you guys really felt. I don't think that she put up enough of a fight for
Yeah.
herself. So her send-off was like, I'm going to go see my son. Bye. Man.
Yeah.
Do you
that
think it
broke
was at a
it.
point where, regardless of what she said to defend herself, their mind was already made up?
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately.
That's true.
If Bree was in there though, Bree would have given him the fight
Yeah.
of their life.
No, Brie would have actually gone to
Yeah.
fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we had both of them and one of them is so faithful, the other one's a traitor, and they can't
Yeah.
even tell each other?
Well, so
Ooh.
I mean, okay, I guess
Survivor-
spoiler.
I mean,
Survivor
SummerSlam.
can't, or not Survivor, Traitors Canada. there was a pair of siblings, and one was a traitor and one was a faithful, and they made it to the final 7 and 6. So like they've done it. And there's also a son and mother on the Traitors UK season 2. So they've done like family members, but like in secret.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nikki and Brie would have been like well known, but they've done in secret.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like Nikki's definitely one that broke me just because I forgot. I don't know if it was Trisha, but one of them saying, "Oh, you just breathe like such a weird way, and you're so different doing this, and you're like not loud like your character on TV." And it's like she's not gonna be the same person she's portrayed up on screen. And a lot of even actors are different from what they're.
Also, which era are you watching? Because she hadn't been on TV in a while at that point.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand how that was the argument for her to begin with. It's like I get the theory from the get-go of like one of the traitors has to be in the coffin.
I get that,
yeah. But the fact of like you keep going after it and then they're like, hey, it's not me, and they give you reasonings why, but it's like, oh, you breathe differently, so it has to be you. What?
Breathe?
What do you mean?
I froze
You're
my
gonna
ass
breathe
off in a wooden
differently.
box. I'm not happy. It's me. What?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely weak points.
I often think that it's, from our perspective watching it, it's easy to look at these things and say, okay, this or that kind of thing. But being in there, it's like, what do you really have to go by? Well, like we don't.
Look for any
we're privy to everything, right? So when you're in there, it's like you're alone with your mind. No cell phones, no outside sources, no nothing like that. Just gossip and the walls that talk and. That could play on a person. I'm sure it would play on me, and I'm still hoping one day I get to find out in one of these shows. I'm itching for it. But yes, paranoia plays a real factor, and I think that that's what gets to a lot of people and ultimately can cause their demise in these situations. I think with Nikki's situation, it was more there wasn't enough fight. When her back was against the wall, she didn't fight back enough, and she was against so many heavy game players in here, and that got the best of her. It's unfortunate. I think that we could have seen a lot more, but I don't think she was quite ready for the Traitors. Now bring on Brie though. That sounds like fun.
One of my favorite Gabby and Nikki moments is that first challenge when they were in the Viking longboat, and the guys are like, they're obviously being completely misogynistic, completely like we have to be on here, so all the women have to go on all the rafts out there and whatever. I just love that Gabby was like, it's not that hard, it's Pilates. I mean, it's all about rhythm, and like her and Nikki are just like holding their own on their side while everyone else is seemingly struggling, and it's like that's what I love about these games, is that these jocks, right, they just get in their head of like it's all about the muscle and all the things that guys can do. This is the only way that we can get all the money. And it's like, it's not actually, it's more about leverage and how you work together. But I don't know, it always surprises me, so to speak, sometimes, because
I think also about that challenge though that you're talking about too. The part that I thought was, I want to call it funny, but it's just the fact that they don't have a rhythm to begin with. And Bob the Drag Queen is like, here, we're gonna do this. Ho, and then they all kept going from there, even after they dropped him off. They kept going with the rhythm that he taught them. And it's like, how did you not know that you had to work in unison to be able to do this? Going right, the other one's like going right. Nobody knows where to go. And then he gives you guys the rhythm. You guys drop him off and then continue on with the rhythm afterwards. And then this part made me laugh too, because after, I think it was the first two people that drop off, I think they were the housewives. They were like, oh wait, they're gonna think we're traitors now because we decided to leave the boat. And I like thinking of like the consequences of the other side of it rather than just on their point of view. I thought that part was interesting too, because they're like, wait, they're gonna think we're traitors now because we, kept ourselves safe. They're gonna think we did it because we're safe, and we're not. And that made me laugh, because I think Bob the Drag Queen was the next one that said the same thing too. And
Bob and Danielle trying to
run the raft together.
Yeah.
Bob and Danielle not knowing that they were traitors, trying to pretend they're faithfuls to each other is funny too.
Now I will post this.
I love it.
Because when we get to the first time the traitors enter the turret, it's Danielle and Bob in there first. They're excited over each other. I feel like if they never had Carolyn or any of the Survivor players enter the turret, I think Bob and Danielle could have had a very successful game, the two of them, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know who that third traitor would have been to round it out. If they were going to go off of the twist of someone from the cage is coming in, I feel like if they wanted to really try to see if the traitors can go all the way, I think it should have been Derek.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like how they celebrated it too.
Oh, I was gonna say, do y'all know that? Do you listen to his murder podcast?
No, I don't.
No.
So I knew that he was on Big Brother, but I listened to their podcast regularly, and there was a time last summer that they were like, we're taking like a 6-week break, like, you know, we're just a little bit, you know, overwhelmed. You know, they had Crime Con not too long, and I was like, oh, I hope their mental health is okay, not even realizing that's what this is. And when I saw him, I was like, damn it. Because he hadn't been announced for the cast. Like, they had announced people that were going to be on the show.
It was low key. Yeah. It was like, if you're like not insider, but if you're like in the community, like I was, I remember like got spoiled on Reddit, and then the reality TV, like Twitter posted. I'm like, oh, we're getting Derek at some point too. I was like, this will be interesting because he hasn't been on reality TV in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I especially love that challenge too, because it's interesting when you think about the first episode. They don't want Boston Rob in there because you have to shake his hand to go in. But then when it's to their benefit, they're like, oh, you get money. But whatever money you put in there, it's in the bank, and you drop him off at the same time. Then they're like, now we want him in.
Yeah.
I do love that part when he's like, oh, these people are introducing themselves to me, and I don't even care. It's like, oh, hi, my name is so-and-so. He's like, I don't freaking care. I'm just trying to get in this game somehow. And then they play that clip of they keep going, hi, my name is Nikki. He's like, oh, nice to meet you, Nikki. And I'm dying of like the commentary from him being like, I don't care about their names.
It's just the glazier of Boston Rob this whole season is really ended up impacting the game the most. I mean, the fact that you guys out of instinct didn't let him in the first place should have told you not to let him in after the fact. Because especially if he's going to get cast aside, chances are he was going to be a traitor, and lo and behold, he was.
I'm surprised that nobody went after him to begin with, like just because of gameplay. Just thinking of like, you're Boston Rob, I don't trust you, and you probably
there was bigger personalities in there. Like Tony is such a big personality, so like I get why you know they were trying. Then Rob stuck it in even more. I get it.
I think with Rob, it's easy for people to go that direction, but the problem is that once you've let him in, and once you let him in, the game begins, and he's very, very good at talking his way in and out of situations. Where someone like Tony is, I love Tony, but he's a bit of a hothead, and he gets explosive very fast. And Rob reads that on all these players. He saw exactly who he could go after, that those personalities would come out big, and he could sit back and kind of just stare them down and be the calm one in the situation. And it played to his advantage until it didn't. And I mean, that was always going to be the case. I'd never expected Rob to go all the way, but I knew that he was playing enough that he was going to get some big personalities to fall with him. And he certainly did.
I mean, if he didn't win, or if he didn't marry the Amber, I don't think that this man would be married, because he and this is this is actually all shade to Boston Rob, because I feel like in order to have that kind of brilliant mind, you have to scheme your way through everything. And I've dated motherfuckers like that, and let me tell you, it is not fun. Sorry, I said sorry. I'm cussing on the show.
Episode, and here you are saying, oh, pardon me.
But I've dated guys like that. One of them tried to hit me in a mall, like, because I didn't buy Skyfall tickets, and they ended up being sold out. And then we were at the mall together, and he went to go punch me, and I was like, okay, no. Yeah, security guard was there at the same time, grabbed him. It was kind of great. Kind of great to watch that. But yeah, the demise of Boston Rob has been his own on every single Survivor series.
He should not have killed Derek. Like, once Wes was gone, and then you decide to kill Derek, who's also proven to them be a faithful. People are like, well, at least one of the three of y'all is the traitors. You get rid of Derek, that leaves only you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like another thing they brought up, but I feel like it died down also, was that theory that there's 2 girls left when Karen and Daniel were left.
I mean, they were right.
They were right, and then I feel like they were hanging on to it, and some people brought it up, but then it would die down when it came to the round table. So I'm like, you just had it. Come on, keep going from there.
And then it felt like anytime someone tried to counter Ivor for saying it, it would just get talked over to move on to the next fight. Where if I were in that position where like, well, there's 2 traitors off, most likely they should be girls. At that point, you do everything in your power to get rid of Ivor before we get to like the second to last round table. Because then when Dolores is going after Ivor, it means fucking nothing. Because of how sus Danielle's been the whole time, feeding into what he's saying, which ultimately was correct, even after when Brittany was recruited.
I'm going to be honest, y'all. I thought Ivor's time was up, like, 3rd episode
I thought it was
in.
up 3 episodes ago.
I would not
I'm
have
surprised
kept
he
him
was still
in.
there. I was surprised he's still there, and I at one point when the final 4 happens, I forgot that even Sam got eliminated. I was like, what happened to Sam? And I was like, oh, never mind. He was out too. I was like,
The only time we saw Sam was at that one morning breakfast when he actually had a pretty good theory. That was it.
Yeah, I feel like Sam only had 1 episode in the edit to look good, and then they murdered him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I'm very curious to see how much of it was him getting edited out because of like all the Britney Spears controversies going around at the time too, where it felt like his name was getting brought up in certain things with the whole like conservatorship and whatnot. But ultimately, I feel like he would have contributed more to the game if he wasn't murdered, but instead Ivor was. Whether he would have gone all the way to the end to win the money is to be seen. But I feel like from a gameplay standpoint, it was more favorable to keep Sam than it would have been for Ivor, just because nobody was going to do anything with Ivor at that point, and it ended up fucking up Danielle's game in the end.
Yeah, I think another person that really
man was
surprised me too was
61.
Dylan. Yeah,
I loved every bit of it.
Good job. But the one that definitely surprised me was Dylan, because obviously you think about it, it's like, that's Zac Efron's brother. Like, nah, that's nothing. Man was onto it from the beginning with so many people, and there's so many times that he was like leaning away, and I'm like, yeah, you got it, and then something would happen, he will lean the other way. I was like, dang it, you were so close. But those TikToks with him and Boston Rob are top tier. I love the bromance that came out of the show, though. If you haven't watched them, definitely go watch their TikToks. I love them together.
I gotta go my own way. That was a good one.
And there's another one where he picked them up from the airport. I think like a week ago or so. It was just so funny overall. But again, it was like the season was something else, and I feel like it had a lot of viral moments too with all the round tables. It's hard to forget at this point. How did you guys like it compared to the other ones, though? I'm on the fence.
I got nothing to compare against. This was my first season.
Season 1, I still think is for me like overall, like season 1, the ending, like they had the best. I think Cody was the first trait. I mean, I don't know. Do I want to spoil it? Like, do you guys care? I
know enough about season 1 from like what I've seen, like to the point where I would say this season was super messy in regards to how it's been.
Like television this season, yeah, definitely like messy wise, television wise, this was probably the best season.
I feel like they gotta bring back some regular people into the game. Like, still have it be star-studded, but I mean, like, you need to have some X factors of like not knowing anything about these people, because it makes what happens at the end even grander, like House of Re-1.
Yeah, I was so disappointed in the ending, like, for this season. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, after Brittany, that's what I said. Like, and like, I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying this on Twitter. Honestly, Gabby and Dylan are the only 2 of those 4 that I truly felt truly deserved it. Like, it's like, I mean, it is what it is, but it was anticlimactic after they all went green, and I was like,
I mean, but it is in their character to all go green too, because I mean, like, you're not going to see Dylan and Gabby try to narrow it down to the 2 of them, because it's not who they are.
Yeah,
I mean, just compared to like last season, how at the end was MJ, Trishelle, and CT, and Trishelle and CT were having eyes.
At least it was something. It was unexpected.
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were just like, bye, MJ. And poor MJ is just like, why fuck me for?
Yeah.
Why fuck me for? That's the best.
This season was so dramatic, except for the ending, which
Right.
what?
Right.
Yes.
So
I had a feeling though, based on the time frame of like looking at the stream,
I
there
was
wasn't
like,
a lot
oh,
of time left.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they're all going green for sure. Because if anybody went red, it would have been a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
See,
there
I
would
didn't
be
even
more
look
time
at the
for arguments.
timestamps because I
did.
didn't want to have that spoiled. I just wanted it to
Yeah.
air out organically. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know what?
I got anxious. I was like, okay, I kept looking. I
Mhm.
needed to know.
I wish
Like-
there was like a ultimate, like you're number one in like kind of like a tier system if there's like
Mhm.
4, you know, 3 or more or whatever.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because Gabby and Dylan did a lot of the legwork going into it. Ivar, I think, was clueless and in the weeds for a while. And Dolores was, like we've already said, there.
Great gowns.
Mhm.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for
mean-
next season. I hate that it's
Yeah.
one season a year. I hate
Mhm.
it. Because
Yeah.
now
You
it's
know
over.
what? Compared to other competition shows, I don't hate that it's one season a year
Traitors
because
UK season 3 is out on Peacock right now, from what I understand, and it's a really good
Huh.
season. So you should
Okay.
watch that.
yeah, I
or
mean they
watch
have
Traitors
other international
Australia.
franchises for sure,
Mhm.
but I feel like with the way
Mhm.
that like we are
Mhm.
saturated with so many competition shows having
Yeah.
multiple seasons a year, you have 2
Mhm.
seasons of Survivor, you have 2 seasons of The Voice, you have 2
Mhm.
seasons of Drag Race in the U.S. alone. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
3. Like it's nice to have a little bit of a break where like shows can be seasonal in themselves. So like I know
Mhm.
the winter Traitors US, that's gonna be my
Mhm.
shit. Like I
Mhm.
know in the winter like regular Drag Race is gonna be my thing. Then in the summer All Stars, like having certain things help pace out the year. I don't think we need to keep dipping into the Traitors so often because then you're also gonna run out of people that you're gonna care to see compete on the show.
But then you can have an all-stars.
I feel like they're gonna have an All Stars in due time, but I feel like I still want to have a few more regular seasons of the U.S. under my belt,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
it begs the question for All Stars if they're gonna have it be just U.S. All Stars or if they make it
No,
international All Stars.
it should be. I mean, it should be like how Love Island is.
Like I want people from Canada, I want people from UK, I want from Australia. Like have everybody here. Like if we have a Traitors All Stars, Gail Kim and Melinda Verga need to come over for it from Canada. for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I need to watch that one with Gail Kim. I want to
Yes,
see
you do.
it.
okay, but can we have Chris Jericho on so
No.
that they can murder him first?
Oh,
I was gonna
wow.
say only
Okay.
if he gets voted off on the episode, sure. That's the only reason.
Well, the problem is that he probably wouldn't even make it to the round table because he doesn't believe things are round, just flat. So
But then he
Same.
would be off our television for 6 weeks.
yeah, and then onto a show that we care more about than Ring of Honor.
Please don't speak to me at this time.
I'm not gonna lie, it's more like 3 weeks.
It's only 3.
Yeah, it's not long at all.
Yeah, it's like a holding period, and then they do like one episode a day.
Yeah.
Is it worth it, Auntie? Is it?
Listen,
They're
I just
They're
found
going to
out.
basic training.
I just found out that they don't stay in the castle. That's what Ella told
No,
me.
I
no,
didn't
they
know that
don't. They
either.
go to a hotel because they use the same castle as the Traitors UK. Or yeah, they film in the same Scottish castle. They just have different hosts. They stay at a hotel and then they transport in between. So they're really only in the castle like for the missions and then like right before the murders.
No.
Does it make me think of like all this other footage that we get in the scenery of them
Mhm.
getting ready for bed, but then that
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
that feels
That
so weird, like-
B-roll.
Yeah, that's at a
Yes.
hotel, bro.
Okay, but like the way that they edited Tom Sandoval, especially in his B-roll content, is
Mhm.
like they knew
Yeah.
that this man is going to be an idiot.
Also,
The rubber
also
ducky
wasn't
was a
it
paid actor.
Dolores
Yeah.
who wrote the lipstick on the mirror like
Yes.
suspects, but then there was nothing
No list.
underneath.
There was
Why do you
nobody
have to
on it.
Dolores doing the
did her
lipstick mirror
dirty.
thing instead of Bob the
Yeah.
drag queen was a choice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Which
but
is
thank you to
ironic
the
'cause Bob never did
cameraman.
it on Drag Race.
For Dylan.
Right. I was about to say anybody, the cameraman that gave me the Dylan scenes. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
We
Thank
appreciate your
you.
service.
Dylan low key like didn't know much about him, didn't know much about Gabby. I like those
Mhm.
two a lot. Like if we're talking
Yeah.
about people I came in tonight and didn't know anything about, I love those two.
I mean, I watched
Yeah.
her season of Bachelorette. I watched her season of Dancing with the Stars. And then when she disappeared after the whole breakup, I was like, oh, where'd she go?
Now she's a lesbian. I
Now
love
she-
that for her.
A married lesbian.
And
who's
married!
still podcast game.
Yeah, I love that.
Walk
for
Okay.
Down the
her.
Aisle to Hot to Go by Chapel Roan, by the way.
Can I just say, her podcast is like, why
The sound bites going viral on TikTok are everything.
Yeah.
everything.
They're
didn't
Jennifer
know about that one.
Coolidge.
I mean,
Her-
she is this generation's Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, yeah.
Her
I
rant
agree.
about not wanting to take calls after work hours.
Send me a
Mhm.
Google
Send me-
slide.
Send me a slide deck.
I didn't know any of those. I'm gonna have to look her up. After.
What? Oh my
No.
god.
Mhm.
No, I don't know about her TikToks. So I'm gonna have to look them up now.
Yeah.
Now it's just funny to me because when he first started, I was like, "That's Zac Efron's brother." I didn't even call him Dylan. That was Zac Efron's brother.
Mhm.
Now that's Dylan's brother. That's the other way around now.
Mhm.
And now that I think
Zach
about it, too,
who?
Yeah, Bob is such a good
Yeah.
actor. I mean, I grew up with an actor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
he's like, not a good one. I was about to say that.
That's just a
moment was
straight up
priceless.
lie.
All right, you
That was
ready?
priceless.
No, I have business hours. What are you doing? Calling me after 3 p.m. I've lost all my confidence. I've just had lunch. I'm lethargic. I've been exhausted since the moment I woke up. I need a break. You want to have a creative call? Over my dead body, send me an email with Google Slides. You want to have a FaceTime at 9 p.m.? I'd rather gouge my eyes out with a dull chopstick.
Specific.
You know
This
what
one
we
is
need?
iconic, though.
We need Dylan to hold up his end of the bargain, get into drag, and do that
Mhm.
as a lip sync
Oh
performance.
my god, misguided.
Oh my god.
Misguided
Can
doing
I-
a spoken word monologue by Gabby Wendy.
The people that get it, and the people that, what do you mean? Welcome to the stage, misguided. Like, you uncultured
We
swine.
clocked it immediately.
Yeah.
Well, Collins and I clocked it immediately.
Mhm.
Oh, Misguided is something I won't forget anytime soon. either.
Misdirected as well.
Yes, that was very great. But no, I think we wanted to talk about too, Jose. You want to talk about the fashion. I don't know if it was from the reunion of the whole season that you wanted to discuss as well.
Well, I mean, we could do both. So, I mean,
Mhm.
from the season overall or the reunion, who was the best dressed in the castle? And Alan Cumming is not an answer.
Oh well.
And neither is Lala. Of the
Uh,
contestants.
I ain't
the
gonna lie.
contestants,
I wasn't paying that
Gabby.
much attention, but I loved Gabby's, and I love Chriselle's red dress when she got murdered. That was like my
Oh,
favorite outfit of the
yes.
whole series. Gabby was very well dressed.
Yeah,
throughout
Gabby with the
series,
poncho and
too.
Dylan's like, can you
Yeah.
raise your arms? No.
No.
I mean, Bob the drag queen,
Mhm.
like for not having to get in full drag every episode, looked
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I feel like Ion feeling some type of way about Bob the drag queen murdering her
Mhm.
because she was more
Yes.
fabulous than Bob.
Mhm.
And then bringing it up at the reunion and doing a twirl, thinking that it was going to like gobsmack Bob. It didn't. And then Dorinda basically going on a 2-minute rampage about like how she wasn't mad that she was murdered first, even though she was.
Ion
was
and
clearly
Rob
mad.
are now besties. I don't know if y'all saw
Ion
Ion and
Rob.
Boston Rob are now
Yes.
besties.
You know who also had really good fashion that I liked? Sierra. I
Yes.
like the way that she can layer things. She layers, a button-up shirt with a sweater and puts a, trench coat, on top. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out and buy that now.
I
wanna-
Brittany had the best accessories of the season.
Brittany, oh my gosh. At least it wasn't like Parvati and her freaking
I will not
headband.
take Parvati slander on this show.
she can those headbands need to be burned.
No. No.
And Sam
on
wearing
that note, we could get
Britney's
Jenna
one. It was
Maraska
so
next
funny.
season to keep
Yes.
with the Survivor ladies.
Oh gosh.
Listen.
I love Carolyn's outfit for the reunion too. Like that one's really well done. And Britney's too. That's the other one that I really like the tone of it. It looked pretty nice. But I think everybody looked really like even Boston Rob dressed up for the reunion. Like I was surprised about that one, but you did really well.
Andy Cohen clocking that he needed to actually tailor his suit.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Andy as a host was really great too.
I didn't like Andy as the host because I felt like he was really just, okay, this is a Bravo show. I know all these Bravo people. Maybe
really
they
is what
edited
it
it that way. I would have rather it been Alan Cummings.
I would have rather been Alan
I do want
or
more
like
Alan.
someone else that you wouldn't expect to host it that's like a Traitors super fan, but like also celebrity. Like I don't know who is doing like viewing parties and everything the way that Alan does, but it feels like whenever Andy Cohen's hosting something, it feels very much like it's just another episode of Housewives, or if it's going to be like Watch What Happens
I
Live.
get that,
Like,
yeah.
I want someone that's like in the zeitgeist, or like if they're not in the zeitgeist, someone that would like feed into the ooh, is shit gonna happen here? Give me Kiki Palmer hosting the Traitors season 4 reunion next season.
Oh my gosh. I definitely wish we could get Alan, just because that way he can speak freely about the part about the Traitors and how like why he picked them and things like that. Some kind of behind the scenes that we usually don't get from him. And I feel like the reunion, maybe we get like a section of it they can dedicate to like him giving us like behind the scenes like bits and pieces that we usually don't get. I remember like I sent it in the group chat that we have with the TikTok. I forgot what late night show he was on, and he mentioned about the part about like the production telling him about his facial expression because you could see somebody else's
Yeah.
bones,
Oh,
where the
yeah.
area where he's in. So things like that, like you don't get to know unless people interview him, and he doesn't talk about it often. I would like to get more from him. Like somebody interview him, put him on a podcast, or maybe a part of the reunion towards him giving us like behind the scenes stuff, because I want to like see it more from his side of it, and you don't really see that. So I think that will be interesting too for the future.
But I also feel like they don't do that specifically because it'll give away like what they're thinking as far as like how they want to stage the game. Because
Fair.
if you say too much about who you're choosing as a traitor, that tells you if they're leaning towards if they want the faithfuls to win or the traitors to win. I kind of like the fact that it's just like that's who he picks, so be it, and let the chaos ensue.
Yeah, I would like to see like just like if let's say like I don't know if he's like how involved he is, but like anything he's involved in behind the scenes, like he could say like that part of him being able to read the votes, and then he's like trying not to react to them, like like stuff like that you don't get to hear from him. I thought that was interesting, because he's like, oh, I'm trying to like has those facial expression like you're going like the wrong way, but he can't say anything at the same time. Like I wouldn't be able to hold it if I saw somebody giving me the wrong answer when I need the correct one. But that part I would love to see from him. But again, it's like that's also the mystery part of having him as a host too, the part that he's not able, like he doesn't talk about stuff like that after the show. But overall, I think like they did really great with this season, because there were so many viral moments and so many lines that we won't be able to forget anytime soon, like the round table where like the arguments were really well done too. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Unless there's anything else anybody can think of, I figure that will be the last of what I had, at least for my discussion questions.
Watch Traitors UK on Peacock season 3.
I might have to go on that.
All right, fine, Ella.
Honestly, you should watch season 2 because I like it better, but that's just me.
Okay. I'm have to go on there.
Considering how long it's taking me to get you to watch a non-Traitors or Survivor show, I think I'll wait it out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know what? As someone who watches shows in different capacities, whether in streaming or because I have Sling, so it's on, on TV or whatever. I like more shows just being on streaming. Because as someone who watches wrestling week after week, I am tired of the conversation of the Nielsen ratings. Because
I don't even know what they mean, nor do I give a shit.
Give two shits about
I don't give a shit either.
Is it good? Great.
Is it good? Do you like it?
Them.
Do people talk about it online so I can talk about it with them? Yeah. That's all I care about.
I don't give a shit about the numbers though. Like, good for them, but it's like it ain't that deep for me.
Like WWE was out rating AEW in 2019, didn't make it good.
You're not wrong. 2019 was a rough year. You're not wrong.
Listen,
that's true.
2019, we didn't even know what 2020 was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's true. I figure we'll go around the room and everybody can plug in their stuff. We'll start with the Overlord right over here.
So I'm Bobby, obviously, and there's my ticker down below. Feel free to follow me. Catch me on POV tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Set your clocks. I believe they're changing. I don't know because we don't change them here. And then, of course, as of Thursday, Ring Respect Radio will be on at 9:05 Eastern time because we're playing by Saskatchewan rules. Aside from that, go check out my latest interview I did with Brad Scrivener of Chain Fire and Script Studios. Just dropped yesterday. And thank you for having me today. I appreciate being here.
Yes. Auntie.
Well, hey, hello. I am Auntie Collins. I stream. Okay, someone is outside backing up a truck. I'm
Rude.
so sorry.
I hear it now.
I stream Thursdays through Sundays now. Thursdays, I'm doing on a ramble right here on our local establishment. Saturdays, I am doing your Mother Talking Post show right here with Jose on the air, cutie patootie over there. And then Sundays, I'm over at Fightful Overbooked. We're talking about how wrestling made us cry. Guess what? Tomorrow, we're doing that. We're doing a Revolution preview. So come over there at 9 a.m. Pacific time at noon Eastern. And then right back here on our local establishment, we are having a Revolution post show. My friend Lauren is going to be hosting. She's going to be producing the show. I'm just here for the ride. I'm here for the lulls, you know? And I'm here to talk about how Tony and Mariah should have main evented. And guess what? We might have an Adam Copeland being your AEW champion. One can only hope.
Well, there you go. Jose.
Yeah, I just keep it simple. Jose in the air everywhere. Obviously, Saturdays, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, for the Mother Tuck and Post show. Myself and Auntie Collins being as irreverent as possible on our local establishment without us getting canceled. Feels like every week we get further and further along into that process. But alas, we're still here. We're still kicking. It's a good time. You could also check out my YouTube channel. Sometimes I'll do my guest this time where I'm interviewing different people or we're talking wrestling predictions. Or you could even keep up with some roundup stuff like I did with this week in wrestling. Just kind of the craziness that came after Elimination Chamber. So if you like that, you know where to find me.
And the wrestling gal, Ella J.
You can find me on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Blue Sky at It's Ella J. All my links to all my projects, podcasts, and writing are in my link in the bio there. I just had a new interview with Sky Smithson come out from Pro Wrestling Eve. Check that out if you want. And I am so happy to be back on OLE and be back soon.
Yes. For me, you can find me on my Twitter, Blue Sky is Astro Pizarro, or my Instagram is Astro Pizarro 20. If you're here, you're most likely on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that bell to be notified and hit the like on the video as well. You can find me on Tuesdays doing Taking Over with Ed, and on Fridays talking about Impact Wrestling / TNA with Mark and Brett as well. And every now and then doing a couple of things here and there on OLE. But no, I want to thank everybody for showing up and doing this with me tonight. I know we were itching to talk about it, so we wanted to do it today so we could get right on after the finale happened. But thank you for everybody for showing up and for having fun with us today. Anybody watching it as well, thank you for being in the chat and watching it later. But we'll see you next time. Good night.
Hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic.